Music. We are live. Mine is being captured. That's great. Go live notification on Blue Sky is also great. Yeah. All right. Cool. So welcome back, everyone. Last time we worked on the axe. I'm happy enough with it. Let's call it at that. Again, like mentally a little bit more challenging than I wished it was. The flow of the axe head was a little bit more challenging than I thought it was going to be, and that skull gave me a number. But all in all, it does its job. And for a prop that is not going to deform too much, it's fine. Now, however, opposite than that, or other than that, how many channel points are people willing to bet on me having not missed a single item on the torso itself? Some of you might be keen-eyed. And we are in fact missing what I found to be 3 objects that are currently still missing. So we're missing the knuckle duster. There's a couple of fur tufts on the stomach area. And there's a couple of belt buckles in the back that we did not catch. So as much as I made a push last time to like set it up for, hey, we're going to fix the retopology this stream, and then at the start of this week we would be UVing. I have to walk that back, and unfortunately I have to spend a little bit more time on retopo. So go to ZBrush. So here's a knuckle duster. It should be quite simple. On the back here we have a couple of clasps. Oh, come on. Yeah, we have these clasps that need to be exported as well. Give them a single polish. Yeah, because again, they're already modeled. And the one that's probably gonna require a little bit more time would be these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tufts on the lower abdomen. Because I think I want to have them just like in the face. I'd like for them to be connected, geometry-wise, so that there's less chance of them going to float. Okay, so let's focus on that first. Let's do the easiest ones first, which would be these buckles. So we just export them at the lowest. Export. Also, daylight saving did that funny thing again, so I'm guessing a lot of regulars are currently still sleeping. Let's see. Export that one. These are also, like, they're effectively sub-D models, so I can export them as is. This one. Technically a sub-D, though on the corners, like this is a cylinder disguising as a cube. So we have a lot of topology that's going towards a point rather than straight down, so this will have to be retopologized. Just export it as this. 2000 polygons, as long as I have silhouette, should be fine. Then we have the strap. And I'm looking at it, and I think lowest subdivision is already good enough. So we will be looking at these tufts a little bit later. I hope that that did not catch up on stream. Alright. So yeah, that's unfortunate. That's on me. I missed those elements, so now we go back to Maya and we're gonna fix them in. So, let's see. Strap. Bracer. Studs. We have the buckles on this side. Cool. Let's fix these first, because again, these are identical to these studs, or not studs, clasps. So looking at it, we don't need these edges. Just leading them, taking a quick look at the others, okay. Just make sure that they're consistent. Let me actually take a little screenshot of how they are. Oh, right, and then all of this interior stuff that we do not need. Yeah, these are faces that you're never going to see. They're like they're useless, so they shouldn't be in the model. Quick look if I also fix that on this one. Don't quite remember. Yeah, we did, and we even got like a couple of the faces on the inside and the bottom of the pin. Cool. So we have edges selected. We do select or convert selection to faces. And these rings. Check up. Are they peeking through? Okay, since these are closer to the surface, they might actually reveal. Okay, not this one. But for these, they're very close to the surface, so I will. This one is going to go. It's very close to the surface, so I'd rather be safe. Leave it here. Leave these in. These are good. Not you. Okay. So with this, we should have enough in between. Looking at this and I'm going, what if we add Again, give them a vertex on which they can get skinned on. I think that will help the rigger. Okay. On notification. It's Twitch notifying that I'm live. Ooh. Alright. That's the clasps. Right lower arm. Cool. And look. Alright, up next. We got this, we got this. With the hand. Same principle. I would like for the hand, because this needs to move alongside width, so I'll see if I can line up the edges. Cut tool. It's a bit trickier. We just put one here. Should be good. Okay, so now they line up with hand palm. That should work. Slide this one a little bit up. I'm gonna edit that flow this one. Okay. It is clipping a little bit. I can always nudge that after we've done our baking. But for now, this is sufficient. Just so that it, well, if anything, yeah, this is fine. Alright, this thing needs a quick retopo, and we'll fuse it with, fuse it alongside with. So we're gonna duplicate these. Combine, turns into a live surface. These are already here, so a bit of an awkward angle. Again, one of these, if we did this in world space, it will be a lot easier, but this is also like a small object, so it's fine. Curvature, it will require more edges. There's not a lot to go. Again, looking at it and thinking to myself, what are the most basic shapes? Like this is just a box that is a bit curved. Try to smooth them out as much as I can. Afterwards we will use a little bit of edit edge flow. I have this now. Turn it off. Select surrounding edge, extrude, move it down. The thickness. Nice. And now we can just fill it. And not triangulate, turn it into quads. Okay, insert center line. We do this by holding down control. You get your little preview about the entire span. This is an angon, so it doesn't know how to continue on, and then we just hit middle mouse button, and it snaps to the center point. Now we connect the last one. Okay. Let me do some edit edge flows just to get a little bit, except for the border ones. Okay, a little bit of a misalignment. It's fine. Just smooth. Nudge it in place. Okay, so I'll move this edge, slightly nudge it, and then it'll actually snap itself to the mesh underneath. Same here. Should I do that? I think I'll just put a small bevel on it and then call it. Okay, bevel. Right, that ought to be enough for that. Alright, cool. That's the knuckle weapon done. Alright. 20 minutes, not bad. Okay, now we're gonna have to add the tufts to the lower abdomen. I hope these fur tufts are going to line up. Otherwise, we might actually be able to nudge them a little bit just to make it easier on ourselves. All right. Cool. So back to ZBrush. Let's see. Come on, ZBrush. Don't Used to be. Alright. So this is the geometry. It is just a couple of warped. It's... If I remember correctly, they are literally some duplicates of this one. So... yeah, export level 2. 250 polygons. Export, bird off tips. Hey Volpin, welcome on in. Back to Maya. Welcome on in, I hope you're doing well. Bird off tips. Now we'll have to connect them a little bit. Alright. Yeah, this topology... A little bit of... Okay. I'll just... Back to ZBrush. I'll, hit apply. Tips. Let's override. Back to Maya. Delete these. So just a high poly, or higher poly, and from here on we're going to be applying the same theory as we did over here with the head. So we have a couple of tufts. They are sitting roughly somewhat on the quads. Yeah, just quick work crunch, because it's the second and end of quarterly one. Brain melting, so I take a minute to hang out on art streams for quality. Ah, yes. We love the ending of quarters, and then like all of the stuff, all of the bookkeeping needs to be done. So yeah, I hope you can find some mental rest in this stream. And thank you for the compliment. I'm doing well too. The sun is out, which always gives me a massive mental boost, and I actually got some new plants for in my living room. See, they're colorful flowers. I don't actually know which flowers they are, but they're nice. They have a nice fragrance to it. I got 3 small, they call them like miniature flowers. One of them is yellow, one of them is red. I think it, well, okay, one of them I do know because it's a rose. It's like a really tiny rose bush. And then I got 2 succulents, one with yellow flowers and one with blue flowers on it. Yeah, so I'm trying to spring up my living room a little bit. Let's see, I'm going to need this one, and from the decimated models, I need the body. Let's see. So we're not supposed to touch the body itself because that is symmetrical, at least as much as it can. So we really need to be careful with the amount of whatchamacallit, the amount of cutting that we're gonna do just to get these last few fur tufts in. So first up, we'll hide this one for now. First up, these are tufts, so we know how to handle those. Okay, Zebra, or Maya, why are you... Oh, do not have the decimated model selected. I was like, why is my retopo tool so slow? because I had this model selected, and then we're now retopologizing on something that's already 33k. We're not going to do that. Hey, Lab Code, welcome on in. Alright, nothing selected. Control-Shift-Q. Really hope you don't hear the traffic outside. 2, 3. So we definitely have a couple of polygons that we can latch onto. And then make sure that we have enough... make sure that we have enough... We can sneak a few triangles in there. It's fine. We just need to make sure that they have enough spans because this is a silhouette object. One. We'll triangulate the tip. Now that they're triangles, they want to get pulled towards the top. Now if I smooth, they all pull up a whole lot more. If I keep this one in the center. And edge here. So this one's here to line up. These two are going to get triangulated to either point. This is a bit unfortunate that this one's popping up here, but still manageable. Down here we have another tuft that we need to resolve. Okay. Oh, sorry, these are gonna have these merge. Oh, first ad break. Great. I feel we'll probably need an extra one. Out. Okay, and I'm looking at this at a glancing angle. If we do not have a polygon here, that is probably not going to hold up, so I'll just add an extra edge here. Actually, I'll just add another. Be fine. Because again, it's not entirely following the flow perfectly. But again, this normal map is going to pull through, I think. We'll smack a triangle in here. This one is going to be triangle. E. Everyone pointing at each other. Sure that this one remains on the tip. Okay. This one. I'll retopo them separately for now, just so I don't get any accidental snappings. So advertisements running, go get a drink, go get a stretch. Okay. So what I'm doing here is like this is just a method that I get consistency. So I draw the quads and then I draw a ring around it, and that's how I don't like that's the method that I use to not get spirals. This is my consistent method. Just gonna go here, mid, and insert. Every artist eventually finds their own methodology. This is one of mine for like how I retopo fur tufts. It's reliable. Distance 1, 2, 3, 4. These add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, one more. The big one. Which... Okay. I hope everyone else in chat is also doing well. Does anyone have any... Raise your hand if you're gonna participate in some sort of massive spring cleaning in your own house. Just take a good look at like, okay, I have not touched this in an entire year. Do I still need this? I think that's like a thing people do. I should probably do that with a couple of things in my living room. I look at the amount of dust that's on it, or just this year I have not used this in an entire year. Do I still need this? Or can I just throw it away without feeling bad? Like, I vaguely having a few things in my kitchen that I've forgotten how I got them. I know that they're not... I think one of those... I got a couple of jars from, like, an office event. Like, oh yeah, you can, like... They look cheery. Just put them in your kitchen. They look lovely. I've never used them. It's been sitting in the exact same spot for, I think, close to 5 years now. Never done anything with it, so it might actually be time to chuck it. Or give it to someone else who might actually use it. Okay. That's the big tuft. Let's see if we can line it up a little bit, because, again, over here, it is a bit of a mess. If we could potentially line these vertices up. That'll probably get us some good result. This one's absolutely going here. Face here. Angle there. This one also lines up. This one also lines up. Okay. Last one, last tuft. Here, 1, 2, 3, smooth. Oh, also, I don't know if I already talked about this last stream, but I went to see Project Hail Mary. Beautiful movie, highly recommended to everyone who is maybe sitting on the fence of should I watch it. Story is beautiful, characters are lovely, visuals are amazing, and the music and like sitting in a cinema with Dolby surround sound and everything, it's an experience. Highly recommended to everyone. I'm also looking to get that movie on something like DVD or Blu-ray, so I'll have it. Yeah, great movie. Okay, let's see what we got. I can merge these. So with this fur tuft, I do think I'll keep these faces on the inside. Well, no. We have discovered a canyon trait, where I start a sentence and then halfway through the sentence I change my mind. Like, I think that's a certified canyon trait. One extra edge here. Angulate. Okay, so now we have a couple of extra edges here. Slightly. We're going to resolve these. sneak a little triangle in there. It's fine. Here. A little bit messy, but we'll find it. These. Now down here we have this. Clear dots. Okay. Also, for the record, I already know that I'm gonna have to do some manual hand painting to get this normal map to look right. Because these are some funky polygons that are all lying on top of each other, and I don't know if I can split them properly. So again, learning experiences all around. We love them. Let's see. We also love triangles. There. Okay. I feel like this is in a good position. And then this is gonna go like this. Cool. Now we're gonna have to merge them to the main body. And go to these. We'll just we'll try to do the simple ones first. So first of all, body back up. Keep it back up. We combine. No symmetry, good. And now we'll just cut a couple of times. Or rather, these faces. Oh, like one too many. Okay, maybe not. Where it gets a little bit awkward, but we'll find our way. Don't forget about the bottom. This needs to be watertight. And indeed over here we have a small... We'll just triangulate it like this. Again, I use smooth preview a lot. Because now you can see, oh yeah, we have like some weird funky poles going on. Which indicate, hey, these needs to be triangulated. Same for this one. Don't get fooled. This is a... That's an n-gon. An n-gon means it has more than 4 sides. So you have a triangle, you have a quad, and anything above a quad is an n-gon. Now with an asterisk, n-gons... it's best not to work with n-gons unless you explicitly know what you're doing. Because there's some really smart people out there that have figured out how to model with n-gons. Then at the end they add a subdivision modifier. And then it turns n-gons into either quad. Yeah, then it's going to turn that n-gon into a quad because it gets subdivided. And then 5 points become a funky pole. Okay, cool. Again with these. Oh, not merge. I just want to soften them. Now we have it. Yeah, because from a distance, absolutely, you need that little silhouette breaker. Now we're gonna do the same for this one. Cut. Delete the faces on the inside first. Merge them. Now we have really small, or like, when I move these, you can see that they move ever so slightly. I do not believe that these changes are big enough where it actually will cause issues. If anything, we can also go back, enable the high poly, go back to Quadra, and snap them back to the surface. All of this is fine. Let's see. Make sure that we keep our triangles, or not have n-gons. This one overlaps on the pants a little bit. I don't know why I keep accidentally selecting so many polygons on the back. I know that Blender has an X-ray feature. And I know that there are settings where you can set your selections to be projection based only. So it's only going to select the faces that are like actively facing you, so you can't accidentally select something on the opposite side of the hip. But usually I don't have this many issues with it, so. Right, soften edges. So that's another one. Now we got to this one. Cool. So first up, big ones. Yeah, for future projects, having little nooks like this, I think they're small and negligible enough where it's better to just buff up the fur tuft a little bit. And just have it sit it again so you don't have those teeny tiny corners. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Executive decision. Because again, it is so small. It's only gonna give me a headache later on. So let me turn off this chain for a split second. Don't turn off all of the bands. I just need to get the chain. This tuft, I'm just gonna nudge it up a bit. So it actually sits more against that belt, so we have less of this crevasse on the inside. Same for the pants here. Pull this up just a snake, made a smidge. Just so that is pants. Like, visually negligent, technical. Now I don't have to worry about like this stupid crevasse. Let's see, export again, because we changed the shape. Save, because this is a high poly edit. Maya is out. It's in. Now, yeah, now we can snap them more like this, and that'll be easier. Daisy the Flower Orc, thank you very much for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. This one is gonna merge into here. Make sure I don't accidentally create too many angons. Streamer self-care package delivered. Hang on. All right. I'll do a posture check. I'll do a hydrate in 5 minutes. Let's see. So that's that. This moves through here. Multicut. Drink water, stretch, check your posture. Thank you. Yeah, I still need to set up the redeems. I say that for probably the 4th week in a row now. I'll get to it at some point. Let's see. Oh, hey Batar. Welcome on in. How's it going? We are not touching that thing because that's a hard surface element. Alright. Take care, Daisy. Good luck spreading posture checks to the world. Thank you very much for stopping by. Because as a how do I phrase this? Taking care of your own body is very important, and I do notice that there is now a significant difference between my left wrist and my right wrist. My right wrist is a whole lot stiffer from using a mouse constantly. So when I do stretches, I definitely feel a difference between left and right. Right is a lot more worn out. Which is not a fun realization. It's like one of those things where you wake up and congratulations, your knee hurts, and you question, it's like, is this the day where it's permanent, or is it just a couple of hours where you walk around with like a little bit of a discomfort? Great fun when your body throws it at you. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so this is why we do stretches, this is why we do posture checks. This is why we're grateful to the people that throw these things at us. Okay, let's see, what do we have down here? What happened here? Okay, fill hole. Doesn't want to do it. Or rather, it's not doing it. Oh, no, we do not have topology like this. That's scary. Let's see. Fill hole. Yeah, there it is. Technically, that's a quad, but that's a quad under a lot of stress, so we triangulate it this way, because otherwise that's one hell of a non-planar thing. Okay. Advertisement starts in a minute and 40 seconds. After the, I will run and get some water. In the name of self-care. And I don't want to die of dehydration. Okay. Here we have our big ugly polygons in the back. Still need these. No, they're behind the Furtov now. These. This is messy with a capital M. Oh. Oh. Yeah, so now that is closed up. We don't need any of these because this is now no longer visible. Grabbing some water. BRB. Alright, back. Let's see this here. And this. Yeah, this is definitely some of the most creative topology that I had to do in a long time. Let's see, these faces on the inside. Lots of faces on the inside. Don't need these. We don't need these. Well, maybe we need these because there is definitely negative space here. But at least this can be resolved. And smack a triangle in there. Because, yeah, I think for this character, even when they're going to walk, there is going to be a little bit of stretching. But if we put the edge here, depending on the weight painting, we can make it look like the metal part isn't stretching, but the fur tuft is, question mark? So, yeah. And this place is now, where's the backup? So if we look at, yeah, the topology that was down here to accommodate for that belt ornament versus where it is now, I think this is better. I'm glad we found this one. Hide. This is the backup. This one we. Let's see. So yeah, now we have this hole that we need to fill. A couple of faces on the inside. No longer need this tip. I would not be surprised if we have a lot of non-planar errors out of this one afterwards, because we are giving Maya a run for its money, and I am hitting save constantly. You're not going to recognize that this is a hole? Okay, and I believe we can bridge these. Hey, the Brianator. Welcome on in. Let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this a quad? Oh, it is. Nice. Okay. So with that, we added the fur tufts. We go out of isolation mode. So. Yeah, we have the knuckle duster, we have the clasps in the back. Make sure that they also have soft edges. And we added the fur tufts. These are the high poly, those go into the decimated group. This is body low poly, or body low. Decimated group. This one goes in decimated as well. Soften, harden. Again, if I do soften everything on this one. Combine this, so this is... Come on, combine. Left hand knuckle duster. Low. Just grab the entire guitar. Low group. Hide it for now. This is the guitar high. Put that into the decimated group. Alright. Again, I'm using all of my power to avoid to use the word final because it's if I would have said it last week, I would have had egg on my face now because it was not final. It's never final. Art is is art ever finished, or are art projects just... what? Someone far wiser than me once said, art is not finished, art is just abandoned at some point because you were satisfied with it. Like, okay. Okay. I hope that this is the last thing that we... Because I look at this and I find this angle odd. I expect a cleaner cut. Just check what it does. The body. Oh, it's the pants itself that are... Okay, cool. So that's a high poly issue. We go back to ZBrush. And then, yeah, these pants are updated. This is what I'm expecting, where it's more of a cleaner cut. So, now exporting it at that level. Export, apt, yes. Back to Maya. Where did this come from? Oh yeah, so here we see this the difference. So I will combine these. This into a live surface. We'll grab these vertices and gently push them up. Somewhere we had a decimated model without the pants. It's fine. We'll do it. We'll do it by eye. Probably. Okay, because we have to do this like we're so close to the finish line, we cannot just we cannot we can't bungle the ending. So steals your knees cutely. Delete higher, delete hidden. Mesh has layers. It's probably the weirdest way I've ever said layers. Bake all. Not partially. Okay, fine, ZBrush. ZBrush starts making a lot of demands when you have layers on it. Which is why I'm not a fan of layers. Alright, once again, steals your knees cutely. Delete hidden. Delete lower. Already did that. Cool. 300. Again. Knee isolated. Alright. Back to Maya. Import. So here we have both the knees and the pants. Just have to make sure that they're mostly on the edge where the knee meets. Okay. So that is fixed. We no longer have that weird wobble. These knees are no longer required. This is in the decimated group. We no longer need this. So. Chat, I think this is it. If I have forgotten anything now, tough luck. I'll fix it afterwards. But for now, I do believe it's time for some UVing. So, first of all, incremental save. We are now on version 6. Let's clean up our outliner, because we have a lot of objects in here that are no longer required. We are done with retopology, so a lot of this... a lot of these models should no longer be a thing. So, abracadabra. Boom. This is a special folder because I want to keep the incremental streaming, so this one's allowed to stay. What do we have here? Backups. No longer need backup. All of these are backups. Oh. Kenyon's on version 6, but I'm on version 7. Marin, thank you very much for the resub. 7 months. That's since the beginning. Alright, cool. Right, so we have body decimated. Yeah, these are all incrementals. No longer need these. I'm looking at that color. I don't need this one, I don't need this one. Leg straps, don't need this one. Body decimated, I'll keep you. You're world space, so I'll keep you. You're the shin guard. I hide you, what's behind it? Shin guard low. What is the difference between these two? UVs? No, they're identical. Okay, so I get rid of the one that has thing. Feet guard. Yes. Don't need left camera. Empty node. Chains, absolutely need those. Bird tufts. World space skull. Yep, still need that one. Exobolt, shoulder pod. This one, arm buckles. I'll combine them with this one. Nothing here. Always watching. Marin, that is not a nefarious message at all. Blue pencil. That's for scribbling. We need this camera. Chests. These are the belts backups. We no longer need these. Just empty groups, earrings, 16 spans. Nope, we have decided on 8. You're too innocent to be nefarious. I know that that is not true. I'm sorry to call you out like that. Let's see. This piercing has faces on the inside that no one's ever going to see. Okay, teeth, gums, tongue, sphere. These need to be eyes. Over the UV. Group 1, this is the mask. Mask glow. Straps. Subslow. This one, eyebrows. Then we have these, which are high poly elements. We no longer need these. Poly surface. Okay, so these are hair tufts. One or 2 or 3. Poly surface 11. This is the mohawk. You deserve to be called out. I hope my day is going well. Bestie. I can see you've been crushing it at the modeling today again. Yes. So we missed a couple of elements I'm keeping this one for a reason, don't worry. Yeah, we're just going through cleaning up the elements right now. Because we are going to be doing some UVing now. So this is Mohawk low. Empty node, empty node. What are these gums? These are not gums, these are hair tufts. Backlog, one low. Number 4. Oh wait, no, this needs. Eight. Seven, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Counting is difficult, everyone. Yeah, okay, guess we'll do it like this. 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. And this is gonna be 9. Again, this is not required and technically a time waste, but I like to have my, especially when it comes to hair and it's a lot of clustered on top of each other and later for the baking, I like having them go like with a pattern. So I ordered them from left to right, top to bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So later on, when we're going to be baking our hair tufts, if I export the high polys in the same pattern, I know that number 1 is going to line up with number 1, number 2 with number 2, etc. Okay, what's in here? This is the body without tufts backup. We no longer need this. This is an empty group now. Polysurface 78. What are you? You are the X. Work in progress. We no longer need you. Empty group. You. Body, elbow, fur tufts. Left hand knuckle duster. Guitar low group. Yep, as a group. And then we have body low. And arm buckles. Cool. Alright. I'm just looking at this shirt and because again, it's close to the face, I feel like one more edge loop is gonna cut it. So one more symmetry for the road. Oh, do not knock over the glass of water. So yeah, I'm just putting in a couple of extra polygons to get that shirt edge in there. Isolate these two. Because again, it's very close to the face and I want that cut to be there because this is also going to allow us to have a little bit of cleaner UV cut in just a bit. So I have to do this now. happened here? Oh, because triangle. Yeah, okay. So one of the reasons why using triangles during retopo is sometimes not advisable. We now have a. It's not a complete loop because it encountered the triangle. So we now have to manually help it and go like, no, 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 Maya, it's fine. You can still have triangles. It's just that we'll have to help you a little bit. We will merge these. Okay, now I know that over here is technically a cutout, so I will very quickly get rid of that. And then we should be golden. So, turn off. This is perfect. No, I'm not going to break my own rule. We're not going to touch this center line. Okay, and then these. Okay, so this one's a little bit dangerous because, again, this is very close to the neck. It's very much a tiny element, but it is very close to the neck, so I wish to do this. Cut. Okay, fine. We'll touch the center line just this once. What's the worst that could happen? Okay. So I'm not going to do it for the other pieces of the shirt. Because, like, again, it would... I think this one can get carried by the null map. It's just that this one's so close to the face, and especially later on when we have, like, a close-up shot, then I do believe having that little corner cut out is going to work out. Okay, cool. So, here we have everything. Incremental shoulders. Now, let's start UVing. So, hang on, let me take a sip of water before I start this PowerPoint presentation. Cool. So, For people who know nothing about 3D or are beginning with it, if you hear the term UVing, that means we are going to cut up our model, which is a 3D model, and we're going to flatten it. Because the way that texture data is read is you have a square image that has pixel information on it. Now, we want this pixel information to show up... Oh wait, I'm explaining this during an ad break. I'll repeat after the ad is over so that everyone can hear this. Just as a real quick, like maybe I can... Alright, everyone look at this knee for like a couple of seconds while I check a different file. Let's see. Is it possible to quickly open up the leper mercenary? This is going to be very confusing to look at. Yeah, this has overlapping things. Okay, this is not going to work. Back to the hyena. I thought maybe I could show you a quick other 3D model that shows the principle, but it's fine. Right, nothing happens, ignore that. Everyone, welcome back from advertisement. So, the next step that we're going to take is we have a 3D model and we need to set it up so it can hold texture information. Now, a texture is a 2D image. It is flat and it goes from left to right, top to bottom. Very much like a square that we have over here. So I hope it shows up on screen. Where it says from 0 to 1 in like upwards and 0 to 1 in widthwise. You have one square. This is called your legal texture space. The way that 3D models work is they look at this texture space and whatever space that you allocate on your 3D model to the XY coordinates on this space is going to transfer the texture information that is being loaded in. Let me just do a quick frontal projection. So, in our legal 0 to 1 space, we now have this entire character projected frontward. If I turn on textures and isolate, you can see that these squares that are on the texture square, like on this patches, yeah. The checkerboard that is on this square, whatever position is over here of the 3D model is being calculated into 3D space. So if I were to move this now, let me grab this face. So you can see I'm selecting it and I see it over here. If I were to move this now, you can see the squares change because I'm changing the geometry position on this square. Yeah, we're translating 3D space into 2D space. So if I move this, you see that whatever image is loading in this case a checkerboard, is also changing. Also, as I change it a lot, you can see distortion happening. Now, what UVing is I'm going to grab my entire 3D model, I'm going to cut it up, and I'm going to put it into a square. That's it. That is the fundamental core. Now, because we live in the year of 2026, we can have multiple materials or multiple squares at our like in our 3D model without it costing too many resources. So you can have what is, the words are something a little bit interchangeably, but you can have multiple texture sets. For example, if you have a character that has multiple outfits, you would put the naked body on one UV set or one texture set. And then, for example, their default outfit is texture set. That would be texture set 2, because the first one is the main body. Their armor set is texture set 3. And by doing this, you don't have to load in everything at once. If the character isn't in a cutscene where the armor isn't there, the armor geometry isn't loaded in, and the armor texture isn't loaded in. So it's not like the body and the clothing and the armor are all fighting for the same texture space. You split them up. So for example, for this character, what I'm thinking is there's definitely going to be 2 sets. So the guitar is going to have his own texture set. We're not going to try and shove a prop into the texture square of the main body. Maybe I will cut this body up in a top and bottom. I'm not quite sure yet. Because again, this character does not have any accessory or element swapping. So theoretically, we could cram it all into a single texture space, but then our texel density might be too little and you see pixelation. If anyone at any point has any questions about UVing, send a message in chat and I'll do my best to try and explain it. So, let me just start with the body, which is arguably immediately the biggest part. So, what I like to do is start with a frontal projection, and I'm going to make some basic cuts, such as I know that the head is going to be separate. So, hang on, let me see. Is this visible? Let me turn off this one for now, because it's not necessary. I'll get rid of the clown makeup, because we no longer need these loops. So everything is just now going to be just Lambert 1. Existing, Lambert 1. Cool. So this is where a lot of previous choices of topology also come into play. Because if you can only do UV cuts on edges. Clown makeup, yes. So for this body, again, the clean loops allow me to cut the model, and now we have created the head into a separate UV chunk, while the body is another one. Let me isolate it. Now I purposely put some edges on the sleeves so that I can cut it here, and now the arm is also a separate UV element. We do the same here, where I will grab this edge. Let me turn this off. If I turn on this texture borders. Yeah. So now you can see this. There's a different color edge. So there's a UV cut here. Borders. Again, if I'm overloading information on people, let me know. Now I go, okay, this is where the sleeve, the shirt, and the shoulder cloth, or rather the arm, no. We have the cloth piece of the shoulder, we have the shirt, and we have the arm. I know that this edge is the border between the shirt and the arm. So I'm going to make a texture cut here. Make a texture cut here. Going to follow it on the inside, and now I remember, because I made this, that this is part of the arm. So we're going to put a UV cut here. Oh. gonna have a cut here. Now, again, if I make a cut here, you can see that now the arm is cut off. Quickly cut off the sleeve. Okay. So for example, this is the sleeve. But as you can see, it's still just a frontal projection. If we turn on our cubes again, or our squares, these squares at the front are also getting projected onto the back. Let me grab a rainbow checkerboard real quick. Give me 1 second, please. UV checker map, image, polycount, yes. Save PNG. Source images, UV checker. Right. So if I were to give it a new material, we'll call it UV checker. Gonna give it a file, and that file is going to be the UV checker. So, and let me tile it. These are not the settings I want. Texture, input. Come on. Where is... Oh, wait, place 2D node. Yes. We'll repeat it like 5 times. So, now you can see, people who may have watched documentaries, this may look familiar. So now you can see, oh yeah, we see our pattern, we can see deformation, and over here, we see GHIJ. But if we look at the back, it's inverted. So especially over here, you can see this is where this is distortion that's not going to work. What we need to do is unfold it. Go here. Again, you can't see these tools, but there is literally an unfold button, and Maya will try to just yeah, literally like unfolding pieces of cloth. It's going to do its best to make sure that there is no overlap and have the topology relax. Now if we look at our texture, you can see that it is no longer inverted on the back. There's no distortion on the top, and from the front, yeah, it is now unfolded, but it's not yet good. Because, yeah, you can see that, okay, there's a lot of stretching, there's a warping. Odds are we can orient the shell a little bit better. I wonder, because this is, okay, so the art of UVing is understanding what you want and setting up your UV islands so that you can have an easier time in texturing later on and to be efficient. So I currently see a lot of warping that leads towards the center of the shirt. Just as an experiment, I'm going to grab these edges, or these UVs. I'm going to align them to the right. Now the rest, I'm going to unfold around it. So now that over here we have a straighter line, but the trade-off is that over here now we have more warping. So what I could also do is make another cut here. Optimize it. this thing. If I look at it now, this is what I want, and this is where every artist starts making different calls. Because do I want it to be less stretched? Like, do I want straighter polygon or straighter pixels on the seam? Or do I want to unfold, optimize it, and have it be more warped like this? Because now over here on the side of the shoulder, there's less stretching. But we have curvature over here. Welcome to Decision Town. You're gonna have to be doing this for every element of the body and the accessories. So, yeah. Strap in. Okay, let's... So, the head is something that is going to be very... You can unwrap everything like a cube in a cylinder. Oversimplification, but... Yeah, so this is where we start making all of our decisions. It works, it does. Also, another reason why some people tell you to not use triangles is because selections. If it's all quads, you can just cut, or you can double click and it'll select everything because it's quads. The second I start double clicking here, it selects these because these are quads. The second I click here, it doesn't go on because these are all triangles. It doesn't know where to go next. So having triangles in your models mitigates your double click efficiency, and that takes time. Welcome to the eternal debate of should we use triangles? Or rather, how should we use triangles? Okay, so the logic that I use, I look at natural borders, because I know that here we have the abdomen, which is skin, and here we have the belt, which is cloth. So I feel like that's a good border. I'm gonna put a cut there. Right, cut. Missed an edge somewhere, because otherwise we'd be able to select this cleanly. So this is why I have edge highlight turned on, so you can actually see where all these cuts are. Guessing it's somewhere in here. Ah, there we go. So because one edge is still connected, cut. Oh. Search continues. Oh, this one, cut. Alright, now it's a separate object. Also, UVing is wildly unstable. Always save your work every 10 seconds if you're UVing. Okay, maybe not literally every 10 seconds. Okay, again, torso. I'm gonna start putting UV objects in, like... I'll just put it off to the side so I know that I did a pass over that. Cool, so now we have this item, which is the torso. And there are many ways to cut up the torso. With UVing, I don't need the FBI knocking on my door. And again, it depends on what is the game... Where is the camera most likely going to be looking? So if it's League of Legends, where all of it is like top-down view, you can put some cuts like on the sides. Why is this not working? Come on. So this is something that I usually do. I just cut them on the side, so you have like a clean front and a clean back. We'll also cut them on the clavicle, which is kind of equal to the silhouette. Though I have had projects where we decided to make a cut over the back and then just unfold the entire torso front facing, but that would give us a huge seam on the back. But the character was wearing a large jacket with an open front, so you would never see the seam on the back because there was another element blocking it. Okay. Let's see. And again, we have a triangle, so it didn't entirely go through. We need this to cut. Why did this one not cut? Anyway, we'll do some manual cutting. Also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an Engon. We don't allow those. I'll cut them like this. Because again, having triangles be more closer 1-to-1 will give you better results than having these really elongated polygons. So I'm going to choose to make it like this. Okay, and now we have a front and a back. If we go into our checkerboard view, especially on the side, we see a lot of stretching. So we do unfold among U and V, and now we have a more even spread. There is basically no distortion. Same for the back. Also, if I turn it on now, you can see that this island is red. This means it's flipped. We do not, unless we have a good reason to flip it, we do not want flipped. We do not want flip normals. The actual technical thing, flip normals, the tutoring company, they are amazing. Yeah, you can see that our texture is inverted. We don't want that, so we flip it. Now it's good again. It's blue. We like blue. And again, we unfold. Now there's one thing that I do as a personal thing. I like straightening out UV edges on some elements because of experiences. So you have like a wobbly line here. What I like to do is just line them out straight. Why? Later on, when you have a lot of UV lines coming next to each other, and you have all of these angled UVs, you're gonna have a lot of dead space in between UV chunks, and that is like you want to be as efficient as possible with your 1-to-1 square. Every percentage that's not being used by UV space is effectively lost. What I like to do is just snap it in. So now, rather than this entire gap, where maybe we can put some smaller UV chunks, I'll just line them out like this. Now granted, if I do this, you will see that there's distortion here. Look at how skewed these are. So it is important that if you choose to do this, that you unfold it horizontally. So there is a little bit of distortion now because we have, like, this guy has a thin waist, it is curving inward. Technically there's distortion in it, but it is so negligent, and the trade-off is we now have a little bit more UV space that we're actually using. Okay, same for this one. Like, it's negligent, but it's there. It's a tiny optimization trick. We'll just put them in top left. What do we want to do next? Belts, pants. Let's go for the pants. This is the border. Here we have the pants. Again, we have a front and a back. And this is where I made a very purposeful choice. Oh, I got rid of the high poly. That's fine. This edge is on the seam that if we look at our ZBrush, not the knees. Come on. This chunky sculpted seam is on the UVs. Is on an edge, and that's where I'm going to cut it. So it's going to, when there's pixel misalignment, it's going to look like it's supposed to be there because there is an actual natural seam there. Same for the inside. Like, sculpted in this bulky seam, pretty rough, and I put an edge on there. If I go here now and I select these edges, because I planned for it, this is on the UV seam. Or this is going to be a good UV seam. Cut. Again, it's smacked into a triangle, so it didn't know what to do next, so we need to help Maya a little bit. I think I am going to cut it here. Hey Roy Enzo, welcome on in. Happy to see you. Let's see. Hide those change for, or rather isolate selection. Welcome on in. We are UVing. If you have any questions about it, please throw them at my face. Oh, there's an Engon. We don't like those. Okay. Here, again, purposely putting all of these edges on what are effectively material landmarks. So that where I'm making these cuts, this entire chunk is the pants, and then these are going to be the belts. It's not going to be where I have a couple of... How do I explain this one concisely? I'm using UV cuts to my advantage, where I don't accidentally have skin texture creeping into like cloth textures. Because I'm putting UV seams there, I know that there's going to be some hard borders and we don't have like any weird wobbly lines. Like, may not look like it, but I did a lot of planning and like drawing from experiences. If you're a character artist, you'll know the amount of planning that goes into a 3D model. Let's see. I do wish to cut this thing up. Why is it not splitting in front and back yet? Because again, we have triangles. Grr. Guessing, yeah, they're also here. There we go. Now we have a front and back. And again, we have a blue and a red one. We don't want a red butt, we want a blue butt. So flip. I'm just gonna unfold it, and you can see, oh goodness, now we have like you have overlapping UVs. You do not want this because this is now sharing UV space, or rather sharing pixel information. That is not what you want. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful with how I unfold these. So we're gonna zoom in. Alright. So, yeah, pants can give some issues because we have that break ended. Cool. Sometimes the tools need a bit of a help, because if I were, okay, unfolding U, U is widthwise, V is up and down. We see we have a lot of overlapping UVs, and we don't want that. So now it's like, okay, fine, me as a human, I'll do it. So first up, I'm just gonna pull these up. Then I'm going to tell it, hey, these polygons, collapse them. These polygons, collapse them. Probably nudge them a little bit closer. All right. We're gonna select these. Hang on. This one is, that one's an imposter. Let's see. No, not yet. Okay. Now we're gonna select the others, and now we're gonna hit alongside you. Little bit of a, okay, cool. Nudge him back in place. Yeah, and I know that we have quite a bit of distortion here. I've done dozens of pans. Every model is different. So if I were to hit optimize, what's it gonna do? Optimize, it tries to get everything to go as much as, like, tries to relax it. Don't like that this is all going skewed. So again, square it up. Select these, pin them. These, pin them. Or rather, not pin them, that's because that's an actual term. Select these, and now we're going to invert our selection, and now we're going to unfold again. Cool. Alright, so now we have straight seams at the side. I like that. Now over here it's also getting there. Hey Poel, it's going well. UV unwrapping's going. Toasty Raccoon, hi, welcome on in. Yeah, I'm just UVing and thinking out loud. And I hope that people appreciate that and that they'll learn a thing or two from UVing. Okay. So these are the fronted pans. Because again, these type of UVs are easier to work with than, let's say, something like this. To all VR chat enjoyers who have bought avatars or clothing accessories and got UV pans like this, where you have to paint at an angle, versus UVs like this where it's straight down and you have a lot easier time to just brush and project details on it. Yeah. Do you see the difference? And also, this thing is a lot easier to pack because it's effectively a cube. This shape has a lot of dead, like, there's a lot of dead space. That's also a video game. There's a lot of dead space in between, like, okay, so we have a triangle, here we have a triangle, here we have a triangle. It's gonna have a lot of dead negative space next to it, as opposed to this. This is like a cube that you can just smack into the corner of it. So with these type of UV tricks, you can absolutely be more optimized with your space allocation. Thank you, Toasty. On a professional level, this also tells me a lot about, okay, these are knowledge checks, and if you're trying to get into companies or like trying to showcase skill, having sloppy UVs says a lot about a 3D artist. Of, okay, were you in a rush? Do you not know more efficient techniques? Do we need to train you in this? Whereas someone who has very optimized UVs are like, okay, you know exactly what you're doing. Come on in. Like, they're small little giveaways of, are you a junior artist or are you like more experienced? That type of stuff. Please call me out when I start sounding too elitist. Let's see. Unfold you. Exactly, Puel. That is also a massive thing. If you set up your UVs properly, like for the people who are interested, you can Google cloth pattern, or like cloth cut. Cloth pattern cut, and you'll start getting templates for like sewing. If you look at those, they're also kind of they can look very similar to UV patches. And then indeed, if you were to project a texture of like a fabric texture on it, learn that in Drag Race. Nice. Yeah, if you set up your UVs where they're kind of like actual cutout patterns, and you project a fabric texture on top of it, you're gonna get so many details for free. Because you don't need to warp it, and it actually it mimics real life. So a lot of subtle details are gonna be in there from the get-go. Oh. Just need to make sure that they are the same height, because it can't be that one pair is... Well, okay, so the reason why this might be is that texel density different. Set. There we go. You can kind of see like, oh yeah, they match pretty well. One thing that I will do, because again, minor thing, but I'll straighten out the borders. I'm not going to straighten them out evenly because these, like, they are one of them is slightly longer than the other one, so I'm not going to skew them too hard. What's going on here? Border? No, you're not. You are out of line, mister. No, I do feel like these then need to line up because these are literally front. Like these are part of the same. Like they should line up. Okay. Though make sure that this. Yeah, this one's slightly messy, so having messy UVs up here as well. Okay, fine. I'll just gently nudge them a little bit and see if I can get rid of some of the tension. Okay. Let's see. UVs unfolding you. Unfolding Y. Okay. There you have it. Pants are UV'd. Alright, up next. We have... Okay. This one's probably going to be a little bit trickier. The belts. So again, we have belts, we have a metallic piece, we have a little bit of skin, and we have some tufts. First thing I'm gonna do is get those tufts out, because those need to be their own patches. Let's see. It's here. This one. This sits on the on the border here, and then also cut here. Yep. And we got a cut here. I'm looking at things like this and okay, again, walking back on my words. Because I'm used to a lot of pants, like I've done a lot of jeans, I've done a lot of formal wear, and over there the belt area is quite straight. This character has a little bit more of a like peaks and valleys. So maybe on this one we should not straighten out the top. So now if we project our textures on it, this, just look at the line and look at how it wobbles up and down. Whereas if we decide to unfold it, you can see that it straightens out again. Same for the back. And I'm looking at this and thinking, I can probably... That's that. One thing does need to happen. We do need to keep consistent size. Yeah, textile density is how big is your... I don't fully understand this enough to explain the technical part of it, but it is effectively... ideally, you want all of your UV chunks, all of your UV islands to be the same size. Because if, for example, the torso is much larger than the pants, you can see that this thing has higher density than the pants. If you have these two elements sitting next to each other, you can see, oh yeah, this part of the model is going to be crisper than the other part. This is going to cause visual dissonance. This is going to make models look bad, more than likely. Because the eye is very sensitive to, okay, this part is sharp, but the other part is not. This is artificial, the illusion is breaking. So for the majority, you do want your textile density to be the same. But as with everything, there will be exceptions. Such as, I believe Dota 2 still does it. And this is something that a lot of games from like the 90s and the early 2000s did. The head is the most important part. So they gave the head twice the amount of pixels. Like they so if we have a pixel density of 2.6, they'll grab the head and they just scaled it by 2. Just so that this thing has more pixel information than the rest of the body, because the face and the eyes can have a higher texture density, right? Yes, if you choose for that, and a lot of games do choose to do that, because the face is such a focal point for like any game that for the vast majority of games that you play. Like an NPC walks up, the first thing you're going to do is look at their face. And if their face looks crisp and well detailed, then your body, or rather your brain, is going to look at the body and also go like, oh yeah, cool. The illusion is there. This is a very detailed character. Whereas if you have an NPC walk up and their face is already pixelated, your brain immediately goes like, oh, this thing has muddy textures. It looks bad. Yeah. As a general rule of thumb, to begin, make sure that all of your UV chunks have the same density. There will be exceptions later. We'll get to that. Because again, some parts are more visible than others. Sometimes, for example, will be a good one. This character doesn't really have it, or at least any big chunks. Sometimes you have reasons to like shrink things because they're so small and negligent that no one's ever gonna notice them anyway. So then you might as well just shrink them down a bit. Okay. Now, merge that because this is the top of the pants. Belts. Let's see. Also, if I make any hot takes that people do not agree with, let me know and we'll like we can talk about it. Because again, everything I say, take it with a grain of salt. There are absolutely topics where I will say something and then someone who's far more knowledgeable than me will go like, oh, nope, that is flat out wrong. And I'm always open to learning more. Okay, let's see. We need to get... I'm trying to cut the belts loose now. And again, this topology is not helping. Like, this is pretty dirty topology that I made. Which is now something that I'm paying for in the UV stage. So I know that this is a piece of skin. Let's see, top row. I'm gonna put a UV cut here as well. So this belt. Alright, this chunk is free. This chunk. Okay, this belt is free, and now this chunk. We'll do it like this. Cool. Now this one's free. Alright, cool. What's here? Part of the belt. We'll optimize a couple of these things. Oh yeah, and this is definitely... Okay, so here we have the belt with a patch of skin. We'll cut the skin loose. Sometimes we say things that makes us sound like psychopaths. It's fine. Yeah, like again, hearing a 3D artist talk without any context can be scary. It's fine. So, let's see. Here we have a large belt. Only sometimes, though, as a treat. Indeed, Marin. And now we're gonna attach this. We have this, and it's like, oh look, a belt that we can straighten out, because I've already given this talk numerous times. Straighten that thing out. Let's see. Because again, also it's upside down. Let me rotate. So again, if we look at the texture flow, yes, it's not distorted. On the back, it works, but then as you get here, you'll have to start painting at a curvature again. Whereas if we grab these UVs, flatten them out, invert selection, unfold, not like that. What's going on here? Why? Oh, probably because this difference is too big. Sometimes we have to help Maya a little bit. It gets a little confused. It tries really hard, but it still gets confused from time to time. It's fine. This one. You definitely need to go down there. Alright. Like if it has too many overlaps, then it's not gonna it gets confused and we help it a little bit. Here we have our UVs. Unfold. I don't like it when industry standard software makes me look like a fool. Why are you not doing the thing? Alright, fine. Manual time. Yeah, because when everything else fails, I know where I want to go. It's probably because... Thank you for reminding me, Marin, it's April Fool's Day. Yeah, it can happen where the tools get a little bit confused. Again, it could be triangles, it could be... It could be a whole bunch of stuff. It's a piece of software. These things flunk up all the time. And we'll align like this. A bit more. Yeah, we'll do it by hand. Look at these. here. Okay, so this is probably, this is most likely the thing that's causing it to go haywire a bit. Actually, yeah, it's... only just realized that I'm using Maya. Is it only for UV unwrapping? Nope. I am a Maya user. I've been using Maya this entire time for like retopology, and the rigger is also doing it in Maya. So this is a fully based Maya project. Yeah. To anyone who's looking and might be thinking like, oh, I can't do this because I don't know, I only have Blender. Everything that I'm doing can be done in Blender. You would be surprised as to how far like Blender has gotten significantly better over the years. I've been looking at a whole lot more as well. This... Sorry, talking and... Come on. Yes. Blender has gotten a whole lot better over the years. It's a weird distribution. And you can absolutely do all of these things in Blender. It's just that I'm trained in Maya, so I use Maya. How did this get lined up? Because I want this edge. Unfold. Yes, there we go. All right. So now we have it where it follows the curvature. It's not entirely done yet. Let me see. Because we can definitely see like some warping up here, so... Might have done a boo-boo. So if I would optimize, what does it look like? What does it want to do? Okay, yeah, that's fair, because over there is a cut. The process of switching Blender, polyquad is pretty okay, quad draw replacement. Yeah, like Blender has multiple retopologizing tools that are effectively the exact same as in Maya, where you turn your high poly into a magnetic mesh, and then you draw on top of it. Do you upload your VODs anywhere? I keep all of my VODs. I do local recordings as well, so none of this is lost. I still need to find the schedule to start uploading everything to YouTube as well. You're doing retopo blockouts and I was wondering how you do it. Do I have several recorded sessions for you? Because again, we are going throughout this entire model and I don't shut up about my line of thinking. So yeah, I'll see about getting those VODs up. Okay. I think this is gonna work. Get rid of that wobbly distortion a little bit. Nope, definitely not optimize. Just unfold it like this once. Cool. So that's one belt. See, then we have this belt. Unfold. This one's like... This one is going against the grain of the topology, so with this one I will not be as... like, I want it to flow. I just want to make sure that it lines up rather nicely. So if I hit this... I've been saying for weeks now that I'm trying that I'm looking at those VODs, and at some point I become a liar. So I'd rather get it fixed before I say it too many times, and it's like, oh yeah, you said that like months ago. So I'll look into it, though. Also, unfortunately, April is going to be a very busy month for me. Family obligations, conference that I'm attending, and then I'm also going to a small local con. Okay. What are these? Right, this was the skin. We unfold the skin. Again, I'll put the cuts. So again, I'm thinking about, you see this character like this, odds are you're not going to see it a whole lot like this, so I'm going to put the cuts at the bottom. And then I'll line them up so they aim upwards. Wait, no, opposite. Because now they're facing down, so I want to do it like this. Let's see. Let me do the same for this one real quick. Yeah, cool. Now for the big tuft. Loose, unfold. So again, in VR chat, I've seen people do their UV cuts like this, where it's just a full frontal projection, because technically you do not get a UV cut like this. However, you have significantly less polygons or less pixels in the tip as you have with the base. Which is probably not something, unless you have a very simple gradient only, odds are you're not gonna, odds are it's not gonna work out well. So we do it like this. Okay. And then again, making decisions of where I want the UV cut to be. Put them here. Again, finding that balance between cutting it so when it unfolds, it relaxes enough, and we, like, looking at this, we don't get a whole lot of stress. For example, here, blue is a lot of stretching. So I should probably work on that a little bit. No, not that check. Right on this check. However, that causes the wobbles, and I don't want that. So this is where decision making comes in a lot. That's fine. Because again, UV distortion is a whole lot less of a problem because we are now painting directly on top of the 3D model in programs such as Substance Painter. Again, turning to dust, in the early 2000s, and when I started in 2010, 2011, Substance Painter was not yet a thing. The first couple of textures that I had to work with were in Photoshop. And if you then had UVs that had distortion in it, you effectively had the texture on top of a 2D model while also keeping in mind that you had to draw in skewing and stretching and warping. That's when texturing becomes a whole lot less fun. So yeah, it's not as important anymore as it used to be, but you can still do your best and get some good UVs. Because again, if you think about things such as what's the word? Like, oh yeah, I want to make avatars for VR chat, and then someone else is gonna open up your model, and like the first thing they say is, "Oh god, this is a mess." Like then that's not a good feeling. Like you want to make 3D models that other people can work with easily. This includes having clean UVs, because not everyone has access to Substance Painter. I have a couple of friends who are doing it all in Blender's Paint View, and one of them is actually doing it in Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, painting the textures in Photoshop. And then you will curse the 3D artist who did some really awful UVs with a lot of warping in it, and then you're like, are you kidding me? This task is now taking 10 times longer than it needs to be because you didn't take 5 minutes to straighten out your UVs. And when you are working in a team, you definitely want to keep everyone happy. Alright, where can we go next? I think this part. So it's the shredded parts. I'm going to so nice stuff to the left. Powerful? What's powerful? Or hang on. Can I be smart? Inner map. Yeah, now we're smart. Using that second brain cell. I'll put the cut here because this is a circular area. It needs to get a cut at some point. Well, no. Again, we're gonna put it where it's smart, so we're gonna put it on the inside. Put it here. Unfold, unfold. Okay, so now unfold. Yes, there we go. Let's see. I need you to cut it. Unfold. It's a long strip. And now I need slides. This is gonna wreck our UVs. Because again, the size between them is too big. So get set. That's a lot more doable. I'm gonna select this edge. This is gonna be a mess, but it's fine. Yes, there we go. Unfold. Cut this loose. So that's quad disguising as a triangle. Or no, triangle disguising as a quad. Okay, and now we have these two elements, and again, I don't want them to be curved, so what I'll just do is grab the bottom UVs, straighten them down, invert selection, unfold, and it'll put them all into place. And now we just do another widthwise unfold. And now we have a straight piece. That's it. 3 button presses, not even 10 seconds. Unfold, unfold V. I'm realizing that all of you are not, again, you're not seeing the commands I'm doing. So, yeah. That's fine. Thinking out loud. Cool. So that's another piece done. This is how, well, UVing does not need to take long, but it does, trade secrets? Yeah. More in the sense of, okay, okay, what's the, how can I explain this without it sounding too crass? That's also a great way to start and then just have silence. Yeah, when I started out, it was all like, okay, cool. I think this is the right way to do it. And then I started doing stuff. And then my teachers would give like corrective nudges of like, okay, start thinking like this. You could have made better decisions there. And then, yeah, that's how you slowly like get better. You get better through iterations. But then also because we were in university, and you make the pointed decision to sit next to a 3rd-year-old or like someone from 3rd year or 4th year, or if you find one of these mythical beings, a graduation student who is going over their own project at a pace that you are yet unfamiliar with. And you see them making decisions and you go like, oh, so that's also how it could be done. Again, I hope that my live streams are also kinda what's the word? Giving that insight of just like, oh yeah, I'm seeing someone work how they normally do, and then gleaming, if you want to call them trade secrets, or just, this is my workflow. If you see something that you like, put it in your own workflow. Okay, let's see. I would like to, do I want to straighten this? I think I do. Yes. Nope, not you. Unfold V. Okay, cool. Yeah, but let me do a quick check. Slide V. Cool. Another chunk done. So now we're getting into the, okay, what do we want? Do we want to do the head? Do we want to do the hands? Or do we want to do the feet? Chat, go shoot the cast. Also, we're 15 minutes away from the end. I could, yeah, let's make a fool of ourselves. We'll try to do the head. Because I think that's going to give like the most insights for a lot of people. So, the head. This, again, the focal point for a lot of characters. And the UVs, especially for furry characters or animals, where you have a large muzzle. So you can't as easily, or, yeah, no. You can't do a frontal projection. You can, but that entire muzzle is going to get squished like a lot. Same principle as we have with a fur tuft. Like technically you could do it from a frontal projection and not have a UV cut. Technically, you could do the face as a frontal UV cut or as a frontal projection without UV cuts. But this is going to warp your texture space to such a degree, and I think on the face it is... the face is more often than not the one where you are kind of breaking the distortion rules, but in a positive way. So, first things first. Remember how during retopology I made it a thing to like have a loop go around the face? And where I kept hammering on that? Let me show you why. Now... Okay, the fur tufts are making it a little bit icky. But if I were to make a cut here, that fully encapsulates the face, you are going to get your primary UV patch for the head almost immediately. So can I quickly turn on? Yes. Okay, we'll just not put in this fur tuft. We'll go around it. Same with these. And same with these. Because this guy has a little goatee. So got that. Congratulations. That's a clean face cut. Like, the reason why I wanted that topology loop to be there was so we could have a very clean UVE cut for the face. How do I explain this one? I've seen models where they don't do that, and it bothers me because you get a lot of distortion in other areas. Like, yeah, no, I lack the words of like why I prefer this method. Plenty of frustrations, and then it's like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. This is going to be the topology that I choose to use, and I'm stubborn. I'll do it my way. Okay, so let me. So this is a full-blown frontal projection. If we check at our textures here, turn off the blue. From front, okay, looks good, right? No distortion. Looking from the side, huge distortion. We do not want this. Because again, the amount of pixels that are on the side of the face, not good. We don't want that. So, what we could do is our trustworthy unfold U, unfold V, and we get something like this. For some characters, this is indeed good enough. I also like how the universe is like making a fool of me again, because technically this UV face is like acceptable. If we now look at the sides, we have no distortion on the side. We don't have a lot of distortion on the muzzle. What if we are greedy? Because I am looking at the lower neck as well. Because, yeah, technically we have a massive UV seam running over the cheek, which is not ideal. So let me get off my high horse and actually make a proper UV cut where it would be more, where it would be better, which is like at the bottom of the chin. Means that we need to get a cut here. We have this here. Cut. We'll have to glue this. Rather, no. Because I know that this is going to get asymmetrical results. Right. Frontal projection. Cut on the lower jaw. Now we hit U and V. Yeah, now it's starting to get a little bit more iffy because at the bottom of the jaw we have like kind of like a butterfly spread of bending UVs. This could still theoretically work. We look at our stress here. You can see that there's quite a bit of stress going in the cheek lines. What happens if we cut here? Yeah, now you get things like this. So the trade-off being we now have a seam that is directly on the lower lip. This may not be for everyone because you have a massive. You could end up with a big seam in your like right in the face, and that's something that nobody wants. But it alleviates a lot of the issues in the jawline. So if I unfold like this, oh, also you're gonna get asymmetrical loop. Thank you, Maya. Unfold. Sometimes you get really funky results UVing faces. Oh, because over here, you're right. I think for this project, sorry, this is where I go from talking mode to thinking mode because I'm not happy with this. Like, I want to get this out. Well, without also losing symmetry. Because blue is not as bad as red. What if we just decide to go like this? I think I can live with this UV seam. I think this is the way to go. Now, hang on, this is where I save, and this is where Maya may stab me in the back. I tend to do like a little symmetry pass because it may look symmetrical. Not 100% certain. So Maya has a funny symmetry tool that sometimes is stable enough to work. Where are you? Tool, symmetrize, select center line. Mesh is not symmetrical on selected edge. Is it checking the entire model? That's kinda... It's kinda iffy. Right. Though I'm also getting completely hung up on the face. Also, we're also at the end of the 3-hour block. I'll quickly go over the rest of the head. So with this one, again, because of our topology decisions, we have clean loops around the ears, which allows us to split them without issues. Split here. We have these massive fur tufts. Splitting them. So again, a lot of planning during topology stage of where do I want my edges, and then also thinking where do I want my UV seams. Trying to find where this thing is not being cut. Okay, there we go, that was it. I don't like seeing that. Hey, Maya, you want to obey your own symmetry rules? Because this is usually where it starts getting a little bit iffy. Okay, fine. I hope that's not gonna... Still taking a lot of fur tufts. I don't want those in the ear. Let's see. Okay, the fact that this is happening might indicate that there's a technical issue. Because, okay, up here, yes, we have a asymmetrical element, which could throw Maya off. This, however, should not be asymmetrical. So let me do a quick check. Oh yeah, so here we can see that UVs have shifted slightly. Or not UVs, geometry. No, let's not change the layout. That is unfortunate. I'll have to fix that. How do we fix that quickly? I'll just... Okay, so this one's still symmetrical according to it. Okay. Have to go. Alright, take care, Puel. Thank you for hanging out. Keep up the good work. I will. Let's see. Extract faces. This is getting dangerous. Okay, so here we have the two ears. Say that this one, we'll just delete that one. Mirror. So we just cut out the edge. Okay, line of thinking. We have our full model. We extracted these faces. We mirrored them. Good rule. Oh, thank you. We do a mirror, and now we are going to recombine them. So if we look at the side view, now we don't have this weird like mismatch anymore. However, we do need to weld the vertices again. Because if we yeah. There are a couple of vertices in here that are overlapping, so we see the number 950. I'm gonna hit merge vertices. Now we're at 888. Okay, we're good again. So these things can happen. We had a little bit of asymmetry, which is unfortunate, but it was also a quick fix. Now, we select ears again, do a frontal projection. Again, thanks to our topology, I know that this loop cut goes over the ear, roughly over the front. And I'll just tell it to cut there. Now these huge satellite ears. Let's see. These are red, so they need to be flipped. And now we can just unfold them. Cool. Look at our text here. Alright, back of the head, or rather the remainder of the face. So we have a bit of... We have the neck, which we can just cut off, and we'll put the seam in the back of the neck. Unfold it. See, center line, yep, straighten. And unfold. Okay. I will not straighten the top, because if I do that, we're going to get a lot of distortion. If we look at the side, profile, like it is at an angle. Just to demonstrate, if I were to do that, like if I were to do that, then it may look cleaner. I don't think that that's gonna work. So with this one, I will choose to have it be like this. I may come back to that later. Okay. Let's see, and then this part, unfold. Yeah, this is just the back of the head. Straighten, rotate. We don't want it to be at weird angles. We don't want it to be upside down either. Cool. Now we have these tufts at the front. Purposely gave them topology where front and back are good. This one's gonna get cut like this. And this one's gonna get cut like this. Cut. Right, So now we have frontals. No. Cut. Yeah, you need a cut as well. I'm not doing this in symmetry, damn it. It's fine. Unfold. Okay. This is how I do the face. Frontal projection, relax. If it has a lot of distortion in the lower jaw or like on the jaw line, I cut open the lower jaw. If this was a human, we would just have a full frontal projection because we do not have anything going on with a long muzzle. Every character is unique and every character has different requirements. Okay, we will do those fur tufts next time. Let's see if I can clean these up a little bit. Because these are just, yeah, they're massive airplane ears. I do want everything to have the same density. Cool. Now if we look at it, theoretically I could just reattach these. Oh wait, it does need to be like this. Well, doesn't have to be. I'd rather it be like this. Okay, so we're not gonna... Am I going to entertain this notion? Just because I want to see what's gonna happen. We're not entertaining this. No. Yeah, because on a human, the UVs, you can just unfold the back of the head like a blanket and have it be roughly square-ish. However, due to this character having massive ears, that theory is not going to work here. Just ignore these for now. And you would put these back in yours. Okay, but this is the start of the head UVs. Almost looks like an Eldritch Horror. Yeah. These are the foundations of UVing. I hope people learned from this. If anyone has any questions, you can always ask. We'll just keep going with this next week. Because this is just the body. This character has quite a few accessories, though a lot of these are quite simple. And some of them even already have UVs. So it's not going to be that... I should not say it out loud, I should not speak it into existence. We're going to go through this meticulously. So. Oh. Hey Ashol, Hattie. Welcome on in. And unfortunately also welcome to the end of the stream. Sorry. Yeah, we were doing UV unwrapping. Just to like get that shit on the road. Alright. Watching the VOD? Yes, because all of these VODs are there for 2 weeks. And because they don't have music recorded on it, none of the VODs should be muted. So put on your own music and then, yeah, feel free to watch the VOD. If you have any questions about UVing, or if anyone has any questions about my workflows, you can always find me on social media, Blue Sky. Let me go to the link real quick. This is where you can find me outside of streams. Messages are open. But for now, let's see who we can go say hi to. Let's see. Alright, I think I want to go say hi to Bowie. I haven't said hi to Bowie in a long while. Let me check. Hopefully, yeah, they're currently doing some... what is it? I think they're in the texturing stage. Yeah, they are. Alright. We're gonna go say hi to Bowie. So, let's see. /raid. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you, Toasty Raccoon. Will do. It's Wednesday. We're halfway through it. If you have my emos, we're going with Cozy Vibes, Raid. Okay, so as always, everyone, thank you very much for being here. It means a lot to have people sit around here and watch me do 3D stuff. It's a lot of fun. I get a lot of enjoyment and satisfaction out of it. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all very much for being here. I'll see all of you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.